First and foremost, I want to start out by saying that I am in no way a medical professional. I'm just a wife and a mother who's been affected by this disease. VHL stands for von Hippel-Lindau. It is a genetic condition resulting from a malfunction in the von Hippel-Lindau gene, which is a tumor suppressor gene. This causes both malignant and benign tumors to grow throughout the body, most commonly in the brain, the spine, the kidneys, the eyes, the adrenal gland, and the pancreas. About 1 in 36,000 people have this mutation, which is about 200,000 people in the world. 20% of those cases are new mutations, while 80% are genetically passed down. And the average onset for the disease is in the mid-20s, but it can appear early childhood to even elderly ages. VHL is dominantly inherited, meaning that there's just a straight 50% chance in passing it down. This means that it will not skip generations, it will just either go on to the next generation or it won't. In our case, Chad was one of the 20% of cases where it was not inherited. It just appeared randomly. All of his immediate family members have been tested and none of them have it. Unfortunately, Emily has it. And if Emily ever decides to have children, there's a 50% chance that her children will also have it. With VHL, there is a 40% chance of it turning into kidney cancer in the form of clear cell renal cell carcinoma. The main treatment for the tumors, at least in the early stages, is surgical removal. Most of those have to either meet a size requirement or be symptomatic. I know for the kidney tumors, they have to be at least 3 centimeters in size before they will attempt to remove them. With clear cell renal cell carcinoma, the biggest problem with it is they can only remove the tumors and they can't just take out the entire kidney, at least not right away. Eventually that is the end treatment, and then it requires full-term dialysis, and renal cell carcinoma is usually what ends up killing people with VHL. But that is decades down the line and not even in our scope of concern at this point. Chad's story with VHL began in late 2013 when he was 25. He started experiencing blurry vision, symptoms of vertigo. He eventually, after going to many doctors, ended up going to the eye doctor in order to get a prescription to fix the double vision because he could not stand it anymore, basically. During the exam, they dilated his eyes and looked inside and saw that his optic nerve was being pressed on. So they sent him to the hospital, to the emergency room. They did an MRI and found that there was a mass in his brain. They sent him to another hospital for the next morning to meet with a neurosurgeon to discuss it, and he ended up going in for emergent surgery to remove that brain tumor. After that, he was back to normal, no more issues. We thought it was a one and done type thing. Then in mid-2015, when he was 27, he started having difficulty eating. He would make it through the work week, but then the weekends he would be in bed all weekend long. He could not eat, he could not move. He was just having such a difficult time. We decided to go to his family doctor, who saw that he was very unwell and sent him for an ultrasound, where they found a whole bunch of stuff. He ended up having to go for CAT scans, MRIs, blood work, and a whole plethora of other testing. For probably several weeks straight, he was constantly going into the doctors, going into the hospital, having these tests done. At that time, we found out that he had several masses on both of his kidneys, a large mass on his right adrenal gland, which later turned out to be a pheochromocytoma. He had cysts on his pancreas and his lungs, and a tumor in his spinal cord. The cysts on his pancreas and his lungs are non-symptomatic completely. They have not been growing, they have not been doing anything really, so right now those are just being monitored. He had his spinal tumor removed in August of 2015 because he started getting numbness in his legs, which then grew to his arms. So we went in for emergency surgery to remove that one. They were actually surprised that he didn't have any worse symptoms with that one because the tumor was so big, and we just had not known other than the pain and numbness and tingling. The tumors were removed from his right kidney, and his right adrenal gland was also removed in October of 2015. The tumors on his left kidney were removed in February of 2016, and most recently, a tumor on the front of his spinal cord was removed in April of 2016. His next surgery will probably be to remove a brain tumor, and that is scheduled for July. But we don't have an exact date yet, it's just a time frame. His most recent spinal surgery, which was done yesterday, was actually done through his neck, right about here. They made an incision. They cut through the vertebrae, and they were able to remove the spinal tumor from the front of the spinal cord. Fun fact is that that was the first time that surgeon has ever gone through the front of a person before. We did not find that out until after the surgery, thankfully. But everything for all of his surgeries has always gone very well. He has always recovered very well. He has not had any long-term issues with any of the tumors. As I mentioned earlier, Emily does also carry the VHL mutation. That does not necessarily mean that she will develop it, and that doesn't give us any time frame on if and when she does develop it. She does have to go through yearly screening, and we will be monitoring her pretty closely for that. I do hope to continue doing daily videos, which will also help everybody get a glimpse into the different testings and appointments that we do have to go to. I hope this video was a little bit more informative. If you have any questions, feel free to leave any comments below. Another thing that I want to add, as I am just getting ready to start editing this video, is that this is a lifelong thing. Chad will always have these tumors growing. Hopefully they will be in a more manageable time frame, and it won't be 5 or 6 surgeries in a year, but they will continue to grow. They will continue to be monitored. This isn't a is this your last surgery type thing. He will probably end up having dozens and dozens of surgeries in his lifetime, if not hundreds. So it goes on for a long time.